Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, I wanted to make this video. I've seen a few comments online on Facebook and social media, and I wanted to do a video about it. You know what? I just think that Canelo will never ever get any credit. I can't believe certain people. Like, I've been watching boxing over a decade now, and I'm not sitting here and saying I know more than everybody. But there are people that I don't believe know much about boxing. And listen, boxing is subjective and scoring is subjective. But let me give my take. There's no way Billy Joe was winning that fight. There's no... I watched that fight. I've just watched it back again. And there's certain people that were saying Billy Joe was giving Canelo a boxing lesson, you know, up until that punch. Shut up. Shut up. You honestly don't know what you're talking about, and you don't know boxing. Go and watch that fight back. Canelo was making Billy Joe miss. Billy Joe wasn't even landing. He was hardly landing. First round, Canelo came out and he asserted his authority on Billy Joe Saunders. He hit him to the body. You know, you could clearly see he was taking control of the fight early on. I honestly gave Canelo the first 3 or 4 rounds. I honestly don't think Billy Joe was in the fight. Canelo was dominating, dictating. Billy Joe was hardly throwing anything. Nothing of note. Like, he was so inactive in terms of throwing punches. And don't get me wrong, Billy Joe put up a great fight. You know, he put up the best fight he could have put up with his skill set, his ability against the guy that he was in against. But I just think that, come on. You cannot be telling me he was winning that fight. You know, you could probably give Billy Joe some of the middle rounds, about 3 of the middle rounds. But really, that fight was 5-3 at the stoppage at most. At a stretch, it was 5-3. It was 5-3, no more than that. Like, listen, man, I like Billy Joe. I think he's a good fighter, but there's no way. Like, some people saying he was giving Canelo a boxing lesson. I'm like, come on, please. He was not even landing. He landed a couple of shots in the middle rounds, and which didn't have no effect on Canelo. You could clearly see whenever Canelo was landing, he was having more of an effect. You know, early on, Billy Joe was fresh, so he managed to take the shots a little better. But come on. Come on, man. Those guys that are saying Billy Joe was giving him a boxing lesson, it's irrelevant anyway, because Canelo landed the punch that finished the fight. Full stop. And you know what? I think Canelo knew as soon as that punch landed, the fight was over. Because Canelo, you should have, you know what I saw with Canelo? Canelo started putting his hands up, and I think he knew straight away that the fight was over. I think he knew that this fight's not going, because I think he knew he cracked his face. Because he said after the fight that I knew that I'd broken his eye socket. He said I broke his face. Whatever he said after the fight, he knew the fight was over. And as soon as he saw the way Billy Joe reacted, and I think Canelo knew that he was not coming out. I think he even told his corner that Billy Joe's not coming out. But I just find it laughable, the amount of haters that Canelo has. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So yeah, I think he won the fight comfortably in the end, and I think the hate that Canelo gets is crazy. I don't know why he gets so much hate. I thought it was quite an easy win in the end, and quite comfortable in the end. I thought he won out of the 8 rounds. I thought he won 5 easily. But I think Saunders did the best he could possibly do with the skill set he had. But I just think Canelo was too strong. He punched too hard, and I think in the end, I think he was the deserved winner, and he did it quite comfortably, to be honest. I was really impressed with Canelo. I thought, you know, he did great. I just don't understand a lot of people that don't give Canelo any credit. I think he deserves a lot more respect than he gets, and that's the way I feel about it. I don't understand why people go on social media and just trying to bash him. And I don't think Canelo will get I don't think Canelo ever gets the credit that he deserves, in my opinion. I think he deserves a lot more credit than what he gets. And I just feel there's too many haters out there that anytime someone has few good rounds, like Canelo, listen, Billy Joe had a few good middle rounds, right? He had a few good middle rounds, and all of a sudden everybody's trying to make out that was a competitive fight in the sense that Billy Joe was winning. See, this is the problem that with Canelo, Canelo gets too much hate. When you're the best, right? As soon as you have a couple of rounds that someone has a little bit of success, oh, he's getting schooled. And that's the situation with Lara. The same situation with Lara, right? Where Lara was having success. But when the fight's close, oh, Canelo's getting schooled. Canelo's getting beat up. He's overrated. Because people just want to hate on Canelo. They don't give him his props. They don't give him his credit. Why the hell, right, would you not want to give a great fighter like that credit? He's one of the greatest in our era. He's one of the best. Irrespective whether you think that fight was close or whatever, he landed the punch that finished the fight. He landed the punch that ended that fight. Billy Joe was in no fit position to continue. He finished the fight with one punch. That punch finished the fight. But that's down to Canelo's skill, down to Canelo's talent, his punching power. You know, and the fact of the matter is, if you think that Billy Joe was schooling Canelo, then you don't know anything about boxing. Because let me tell you something, Canelo was making Billy Joe miss a lot more than Billy Joe was making Canelo miss. Really, Canelo only started missing Billy Joe towards, middle rounds, 6 and 7. I felt like Billy Joe was making Canelo miss a little bit. But early on, Canelo was landing at will. I didn't think Billy Joe was making him miss at all. Canelo was landing out, I thought Canelo was the one that making Billy Joe miss. Canelo doesn't get the credit. I get disgusted when I see the criticism that he receives, because I just think it's unwarranted. How can you sit here, if you know boxing, and say that Canelo was getting schooled in that fight? It's borderline embarrassing. It's borderline embarrassing. Canelo was winning that fight up until, even when the punch landed, Canelo was up on the scorecard. But like I said to you, anytime a fighter has a little bit of success against Canelo, oh, he's getting schooled. He's losing. Same with Lara. See, the fight was close. The Lara fight was close, but they made it out like it was a robbery. That Lara literally won every round. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And the same thing with Golovkin. I thought Golovkin won that first Canelo fight, but that was a lot closer than what people made it out to be. The second fight, I thought Canelo won that fight, but people made it out like Canelo, because every time a fight's close, people always try to diminish Canelo. They always try to say, oh, no, he got exposed. He lost that fight, because he's the cash cow. He's the biggest star in the sport. So people are looking to hate. They're just looking to jump on him. Unless Canelo pitches a shutout, right, he's never going to get credit. Unless Canelo pitches a complete shutout, he's never going to get any credit. He's never going to get any credit whatsoever. Right? When Amir Khan fought Canelo, let's go. I love Amir Khan, right? Everybody knows that. I thought Amir Khan was winning virtually all the rounds. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even though I'm such a big Khan, it doesn't matter. Because Canelo landed the punch that finished the fight. And that's what matters. And the same with this. Even if you think Billy Joe was ahead or whatever, which is, he wasn't. He was losing that fight, right? He was losing that fight. Go and look at the stats. Go and look at the punches landed. Go look at all of that. Canelo was winning that fight. Believe me, Canelo was winning. He won majority of the early rounds. Billy Joe won a couple of the middle rounds, and then Canelo took over again in the 8th round after landing that punch and finished the fight. And Billy Joe, for me, it was Canelo was going to up the gears. And it was going to be a downward spiral, because Canelo, as the fight moves on, here's what happens. The mover gets tired. And Canelo's a power puncher. The punches are going to hurt more. Those body shots are going to hurt more. It was only a matter of time before, Canelo took over and, started to put serious damage. Listen, man, I don't understand. I don't know what Canelo has to do to get respect. Canelo was beating Billy Joe in that fight. Even prior to that punch, he was winning. He was up on the score. I thought, like, some of the like, even the commentary, I thought it was terrible. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it because I personally thought, listen, scoring is subjective. So most people had Canelo up. On the commentary, Chris Mannix had Billy Joe Saunders up, which I didn't understand. Carl Froch had Canelo winning. Roy Jones had Canelo winning. And I had Canelo win. Virtually, all these guys had Canelo winning, apart from Chris Mannix. Most people had Canelo winning. And even I was with my cousins, my dad. Everybody really had Canelo up in that fight. Nobody thought Canelo was down. I just think that, what does this guy have to do to get credit? What does he have to do? Literally just pitch a perfect shutout every time? If he loses 2 rounds, he's going to not get credit for it? What do you want him to do? The other guys that's coming in the ring to fight, he's coming to fight, He's also got skills, He's also a world champion, They can fight. I just think that the fact of the matter is Canelo Alvarez is an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable fighter. But problem is with boxing fans, they just don't give anyone credit. It's ruthless. It's like as soon as you lose a couple rounds, that's it. Oh, he's overrated. Oh, he's not that good. Oh, he was losing the fight. What were you watching? What were you watching? He was never winning that fight. He was always down from the first couple of rounds. The fight was, not in Billy Joe's favor. Canelo was winning that. I honestly thought that Canelo won the first 4 rounds. I honestly thought he won the first. I don't understand. The first round, Chris Mannix gave it to Billy Joe. I thought Billy Joe didn't do anything. He didn't land anything. Canelo landed a couple of body shots. Not much happened in the first, but Canelo landed punches. Billy Joe couldn't even remember him landing anything. And the first couple of rounds had the same kind of pattern. It's only when the middle rounds came that Billy Joe started landing a few punches. He started getting a bit more expansive. But that's probably his downfall. Because Billy Joe started to feel himself after he got into the fight when he was actually winning the rounds. Billy Joe started to feel himself, and that's probably his downfall because he started engaging a lot more and Canelo landed. You see, first couple of rounds, I think Billy Joe was kind of wary of Canelo. He didn't want to get hit with a big shot. So he was backing off. He wasn't really engaging because he knew that if he engages, Canelo's going to hit him with a counter punch. He's going to hit him with a counter. And he didn't want to get hit with a counter punch. So he was being inactive. He was just being cagey. But if you look at it, as soon as he started engaging, right, that was his downfall in the middle rounds. And when it got to round 8, he started engaging. And that's when Canelo landed that uppercut to finish the fight. But the fact of the matter is, it's Canelo's uppercut that finished the fight. Not the fact that, he just landed a punch and it was a freak injury. No, Canelo did that. Billy Joe was gaining momentum. In the middle rounds, I felt like round 6, 7, it was 5, 6, 7. He did okay, he did well. Give him a couple of those rounds. But first 4 rounds, I thought it was quite clear that he was winning. And then obviously round 8, we saw what we saw. Canelo won that round big. You could have even given it a 10-8 round, that one. Because he beat Billy Joe down in that round 8. But yeah, I thought Billy Joe did well, and it was a competitive fight. Some people said to me they had Canelo winning 6-2. And listen, I can see that. It wasn't for me on the round. There's no way you could have Billy Joe ahead in that fight. I don't think it was that type of fight. I think it was a 5-3, 6-2 type of fight. I think Billy Joe was being competitive in the fight, but I don't think he was doing enough to win the rounds. He won a couple of the middle rounds, but what do you want Canelo to do? To win literally every single round and outbox him and make it come on, man. Billy Joe had success in that fight, but he didn't have that much success where you could say he was winning. He wasn't winning that fight. He was down on the scorecards. I don't understand. I just think that Canelo can do whatever, and he's never going to get the credit. Give him his props, man. He's a special fighter. And I just feel there's too many people out there. They're just looking to hate on Canelo for no reason. I don't know how you couldn't see, how you think that he wasn't winning that fight. I honestly, I watched a lot of boxing. And scoring is subjective, but unless you're pushing a certain agenda or you're pushing it because you're being biased, I just don't see how you can see that Canelo wasn't winning that fight. Because really, I think what I expected is Billy Joe to win the first couple of rounds and then Billy Joe to come into the, Canelo to come into the fight where he starts taking over. But actually, it worked the opposite. Canelo was dominating the early rounds, and Billy Joe came in and did well in the middle rounds. And then Canelo obviously closed the show in the 8th with that uppercut. But the fact of the matter is that I don't see how people thought Saunders was winning that fight. He did well, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't winning. I just don't see it. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I just don't think Canelo will ever get his credit no matter what he does. There's always going to be people looking to hate on him. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.